Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Let's wait for like 2-3 minutes so that everyone can join. Sure. Okay. Hey, Naveen sir, shall we start or we need to wait for 2-3 minutes more? Okay, guys. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you guys speak up?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So we all have the first day. Is this your first day, guys? How many of you have joined just for
No.
Sir, my first day.
Okay. Okay, I'll quickly share the screen. So I'll give you a brief overview that what we have covered yesterday, because you have missed only one class, so don't worry about it. We'll cover it as part of the recap today. So basically, what is happening? We have covered what is software testing. Okay, why we do software testing, and how exactly we do software testing. Okay. So first of all, let us understand what is software testing. So basically, how it happens, right? For an example, uh, you own a restaurant. Okay. So initially, what will happen? Basically, if you own a restaurant, you will maintain all your businesses manually, right? You will have registers and all, and entry all of the data. Like for an example, if in the earlier period of time, if you have seen that, right? We have got the bills and all, everything in a book, right? We have written handwritten bills earlier, right? Then later on the software it came up, and then people start getting printed bills and all, correct? Have you seen that evolution? I'm sure you have, right? Speak up, guys, please. Yes, no, anything. Yeah. So
Yes.
basic idea is that initially the restaurant people, like for an example, your old way of maintaining the business will be like this, right? You will be maintaining registers for your stock management, for your employee management, or everything, right? Who is the new employee joined, who is got getting paid, when he's getting paid, something like that. So every record you are maintaining through registers, right? Later on, you get an idea that why ain't I can have a basically a website or a software which can help me maintaining my business with the help of a software, with the help of the machines, right, rather than the registers. So basic idea is that if you want to get a software, you are not the right person to build it by yourself, correct? So what you will do, you will hire someone to get the software done, correct? They can make a software for you and hand it over to you, correct? Yes. So basically, these are the IT companies wherein you will just small or large IT companies wherein you will just go and you will just tell your requirement. Okay, in my software, I'll be needing what? I'll be needing a software wherein I should be able to generate a bill. I should be able to maintain my records. Understandable? Everyone is getting what I'm saying? Any questions still here? Yes, no, anything, guys?
No, sir.
Cool. So basic idea is that whenever the customer goes to the IT company, they will give their own requirement. Okay, I need this, I need this, I need this in the software, right? And then IT guys will do what? Will write down all the requirement, and that requirement will be handed over to the developers and handed over to the testers. For an example, your restaurant page will have a login page, right? Your restaurant software will have a login page, correct? So in that particular login page, you might have given some sort of requirement, and they have some written some sort of requirement, right? That requirement will be given to the developer. That requirement will be given to the testers. Okay. So what kind of requirement it could be? It could be like this: enter the valid user ID and valid password. User should be able to log in and should be able to see homepage of your restaurant uh, software, right? So basically, referring to this requirement, the job of developer to develop a software, develop a login page for you, right? And wherein user should be able to enter the detail and hit the login button, and if the credentials are correct, he should be able to see the home screen. So this is the job of developer, to implement the requirement and create a software. Now, what is the job of a tester? To test whether this application is actually being developed according to the requirement. Okay. So you understood the flow. The requirement will be coming from customer. It will be handed over to the developer as well as the tester. What developer will do? Developer will basically do what? Develop a software. What tester will do? Tester will basically test whether the application, whether the software is being developed according to the requirement or not. Got the understanding, guys? So basically, as a software tester, if you want to become a software tester, what you have to do, basically check what exactly you need to do. You need to test the application and check whether it is being actually developed to according to that requirement or not. And if not, for an example, if this particular requirement is saying enter the valid user ID, valid password, and hit the login button, home page should display. Now, when you test it, how will you test it? Basically, you will enter the valid user ID, you will enter the valid password, you hit the login button, and you will verify home page is coming or not. For an example, home page is not coming. Now, anything, not about only this functionality. Maybe if you go to Amazon, right? Amazon, what we used to do? We used to order the products, right? So what happens, right? When you order the product, you click on proceed. Basically, a payment portal comes up, right? Wherein you have to select your payment method, and then you have to pay for that particular product. For an example, you paid, but it is not showing as shipped, or it is not showing as confirmed. Now, basically anything which is not working as expected, in which is written in the requirement, we can treat it as a defect. We can treat it as a defect or bug. You might have heard about this term. What is a defect? What is a bug? Basically, whatever written in the requirement for you, if the software is not behaving according to that requirement, you can treat that thing as a defect. You can treat that particular thing as a defect. Okay. So what happens when you encounter a defect? You need to raise it, because this is a job of software tester. Your job is to maintain the quality of the software and make sure that it is behaving according to the requirement. Okay. So if anything is not working, you will tell the developer, look, developer, I have seen that when I was testing, I have entered valid password, I have entered the valid user ID, have clicked on the login button, but I'm not getting a home page. So basically, once you raise it to the developer, once you tell this to the developer will try to do a fix it. Developer will fix it, and they will give a new version of the software, and then you have to install that software, and then basically you have to retest it whether it is actually being fixed or not. Sometimes what happens, right? Developers are also humans. They make mistakes, right? And if even though if he tries to fix it, it might not be fixed. So you need to retest it, and then if it is being corrected properly, you will say, yeah, the test is passed, or else you will say the test is failed. So what as a software tester you need to do? You need to collect the requirement, you need to collect the software, and you need to make sure the software is actually behaving according to the requirement. Are we clear on this, guys? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So basically, let's go on to the definition part. Okay. Definition part is that verifying the functionality of an application against the requirement specification is called as software testing. This is the perfect definition of software testing. You can pitch it to anyone, and they will understand what are you trying to say. Okay, so what exactly we are doing, right? This is the login functionality. Similarly, in big applications, you'll see many functionality like your Instagram, right? We all use Instagram. What happens, right? When you have a login page, then you'll have a home page. When you try to post some picture, you will have a different functionality for that. When you try to post a story, you'll have a different functionality for that. When you try to message someone, you have a different functionality for that, right? So these are all individual functionality of an application which are stitched together in order to create an application, right? So in order to create a big application, you will have different small functionalities stitched together, right? So basically, you will verify each and every functionality whether it is actually behaving according to the given requirement. And once you find it is working fine, you will call it as test as pass, or else you will call it as test fail. Now, testing is something which is not that technical, I would say. Testing is something which you used to do in our day-to-day life in a very regular manner. For an example, if we have to go to get a bulb, light bulb, we all used to do that, right? We all used to go to the market and get the stuffs which we want for our household, right? For an example, we need a bulb. Okay, you'll go to the shopkeeper, you will hand over the money, you will ask for a bulb, right? When you will ask for a bulb, you will also tell the requirement of that particular bulb to the shopkeeper, right? I would need a LED bulb and it should be 18-watt bulb or something like that. Correct? Everyone agree on that? Everyone will agree on that. Correct? We used to pitch, right?
Yes.
Now, as soon as the shopkeeper hand over that bulb to you, what is the first thing you're gonna do with it? You will ask the shopkeeper to test it first, whether it is glowing or not. Correct? You'll ask him to, as it's an electronic item, you'll ask him to test it. So first of all, you will test that. Secondary, you will also check whether it is a 18-watt bulb or not less than that, not more than that. Third, you will check whether it is a LED bulb or not. Means what you are doing, you are testing that bulb according to that particular requirement you have pitched to the shopkeeper. Correct? Yes, no, anything?
Yes.
Can everyone like be a little bit more vocal? Yes, no,
Sure,
anything?
sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
thank you. Because I'm not used to of having like silent class. Okay, so please. Okay, so basic idea is that whenever we are testing anything in our day-to-day life, software testing is not that different with that. Only thing is that whenever we are testing anything in our day-to-day life, we know the requirement and we tell the requirement. But here the requirement is coming from the customer side, right? Once the requirement is coming from the customer side, we will test whether the application is being developed according to that requirement. The application will come from the developer side. Got the understanding? Everyone?
Yes.
Cool. So this is software testing. Now, basically, there is one more catch here. This is new for the ones who have attended the last class also, right? So now, when the requirement is given in this way, right? Enter the username, enter the password, valid username and valid password, hit the login button, and home page should display. So you tell me, as a software tester, if I go and enter the valid username, enter the valid password, click the login button, and basically verify the home page is coming or not. This thing I have done as part of testing this login page. But can you tell me, is it enough? Is it enough to test this much? Or do I need to test few more scenarios? Do I need to test few more angles of it? What do you think? Only testing with valid user ID and valid password is enough, or do I need to test with different
No.
scenarios?
Test with
We need to test with wrong passwords and wrong usernames.
Correct. So basically what I'm trying to say here, when you get a generic requirement, you have to derive scenarios thinking of that if a user is using this login page, this is not possible every time a user will enter only valid user and valid password. So in order to make sure it is working for valid data, we also need to make sure it is working fine for invalid data also. Means when you enter the invalid user ID or invalid password, user should get a proper error message saying that you have entered a wrong user ID and wrong password. Correct? Something like that. Yes?
Yes.
No, anything? Cool. So basic idea is that when you get the requirement, what is the first thing you need to do? You need to think of the scenarios through which you have to test the software. If it is saying valid user ID and valid password, so I will test with valid user ID and valid password and make sure that home page is displayed. That is scenario one. Second scenario, invalid user ID and valid password. Home page should not be displayed, obviously. Then third scenario, valid user ID and invalid password. Login button, you have to click and you have to verify. Home page should not be displayed. It should display an error. What more scenarios we can test with, guys? Anyone?
so blank in username.
Username length, password
Password.
length.
Yes. So you will leave the ID or password blank. You will leave the both blank, something like that, and you will make sure that it is working fine. The software is working fine. Got the understanding? All of you know that how to test now at the initial level. Okay. Now I'll tell you two things. Any type of testing, we'll go through like several type of testing in our future classes. but any type of testing you can do it in two ways. First one is positive testing and second one is negative testing. What is positive testing? Positive testing is basically testing the application with valid user ID and valid data. Okay, what we are doing here, when we are testing the positive flow, when everything the user is giving correct, every action the user is doing is correct according to that flow, that particular type of testing is called as positive testing. What is negative testing? When you are trying to implement the negative actions which is not according to that flow, when you try to test the application with invalid data, that is called as negative testing. So all the type of testing, basically you can do it in two ways, positive way and negative way, and you are responsible.
But it
Yeah,
will take a lot of time.
yeah, definitely it will take a lot of time. So whatever application you are using in nowadays, right, they have invested like years in order to make it that perfect. Okay, yeah, so it takes a lot of time. There are certain ways of doing it. So basically there are certain even they have divided teams for doing it. So there is huge team in order to complete a particular testing of a particular software. So there are many people, you are not the alone person who have to do that. Don't worry about it. Okay,
And if we have limited time, then
if we have limited time, then basically there are certain approaches. Yeah, this is actually a good question. If we have limited time, we'll test the severe things, basically the critical things, and then we'll try to leave the less critical thing which is not that effective for the functionality. For an example, I'll give you an example. If you are testing Gmail, so in Gmail, you will test compose, you'll test inbox, you'll test send item. But if you are short of time, you will not test feedback. You will not test terms and condition, because in order to in the ladder of severity, these two things are coming very less severe, right? Even though if you have some sort of bugs in it, the overall software functionality will not get impacted. But if there is a bug, there is a defect in compose, it will affect the all the corners of the software. Getting my point?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's a large talk. Like it's a very big talk when we what needs to be tested, what need not to be tested when it is very less amount of time. It also depends upon what is the amount of people you are working with. Okay, got the understanding? I think I have answered your question, right? Cool. So here we talked about like positive testing and negative testing. What is the first thing when you have to do when you get the requirement? Think of the scenarios. Now you can think of in two ways, right? You can think with the user's perspective. Okay, if a user is here in front of this login page, what all scenarios, what which can happen, right? And if you can either think of a tester's perspective, right? I can check with this, I can check with that, you can check with the technical things also. Basically you will get to learn this over the period of time. It is not the one day thing which you can learn overnight or something like that. But with the practice you will get to learn this, and it's a very important skill of a tester to derive quality scenario and derive good number of scenario. But you will learn over the period of time, obviously. Okay, cool. Now this part, I think this part we have done, right? We have covered. Any question on this slide? Anyone?
No, sir. It's easy.
It's
Okay.
Sir,
yeah.
sir, in every situation, we will have to do both type of testing, positive or negative.
Not in every situation, I would say. Basically, there are certain types of testing, like smoke testing.
Yeah.
It is positive in nature. In smoke testing, you will only do positive testing, and there is something called as ad hoc testing. It is holistically negative in nature. So basically, depending upon the testing type, also you will decide whether to do the positive or negative or not.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Cool.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Cool. Coming up to the let's take this particular part first. Why to do software testing, and then we'll move on to the other two definitions. I want to explain you guys today the lower level of architecture, how the software will develop, and then on the development front, and then we'll try to understand these basically types of software testing. Okay, so why exactly testing is needed? first point is that if you don't test the software and generally move it to the customer end, you just get the requirement, ask the developer to develop it, don't test it, and generally move it to the customer side. Now basically, if this is the scenario, this is the flow you guys are following, this is the process you guys are following, software will have a lot of defects or bugs, correct? You would agree on that, because developers are also humans. They might have made some sort of mistakes. For an example, they have made a mistake in for an example, the interest part in a loan module. Now when I say like loan module, basically your Paytm, right? Paytm is a banking domain application, so wherein the user can apply for loan, right? Yesterday also I have given this example. So when a user apply for loan, the ideal amount of interest should be 11%, but they have mistyped it. They have typed the interest rate instead of 11.00, they have typed in this way. I'll just type it by mistakenly. Okay, how to make this? You guys can see the toolbar, right? Okay, this is adjustable. Okay, cool. So loan, if loan amount, let's say this is the situation, loan amount is greater than 5 lakhs, then interest rate should be equal to 11.00%. Okay, getting my point. This is how they will program the software, right? Any functionality which you see working, has the developer has done some sort of programming for that. Like in this way, programs are nothing but the instruction to the machine what it needs to do. Okay, so if a developer has the Paytm, in the Paytm the loan section is programmed like this. So every time a user will apply for more than 5 lakhs of loan, he will get somewhere around 11% interest on that. Okay, the Paytm will get 11% interest. But this is a typing, right? This is all you have to type manually. Developer need to code and type manually. They can make some sort of mistake. For an example, they make a mistake of typing 11%, 1.100% instead of 11%. Now what will happen? Every time a user is applying for loan, basically he will pay 1% instead of 11%, correct? Yes, no, anything?
Yes.
Now
Yes,
this is a straightforward, what will happen if this is the scenario and you are not testing this particular software? What will happen? Basically this particular bug will go to the production, correct? This particular bug will go live to the end user, to the person who is using the Paytm, and every time the user will apply for more than 5 lakhs of loan, he'll only pay 1%. Rest of 10% will go to the will go from the Paytm's pocket, right? It will be a loss from Paytm side, correct? Yes, no, anything?
yes,
Yes.
So basic idea is that this kind of defect might be there when you don't test the software, and you will not able to catch that defect as you are not testing the software. How will you catch this particular defect when you are testing? As a software tester, if the requirement is like this, when a user apply from 5 lakh apply up to 5 lakhs loan, the amount of interest should be 11%, right? This will be the requirement. So as a software tester, what I will do, I will open up the software Paytm, I will apply for 5 lakhs loan, and I will check the amount of interest is exactly calculating 11% or not. This is how I will do testing, correct, on that requirement, isn't it? Yes, no? This is how we test, right? Earlier also, if it is saying that username and password, try with valid username, valid password, click on the login button, basically user should see the home page. What I have done, I have applied for valid user ID, I have applied for valid password, I have clicked for login button and verified the home page is there or not, correct? So basic idea is that if the requirement is like this, instead of this, if it is like this, Once a user apply for more than 5 lakhs of loan, the amount of interest should be 11% on top of it. So what I will do as a software testing, I will open up the application, I will apply for 5 lakhs of loan, I'll try to repay it, and I'll try to make sure that amount of interest is 11% that time, correct? So if I'm doing software testing, I'll definitely catch this bug. Yes, no, anything?
Yes.
So the basic idea is that if you're not doing software testing, there might be chances there are certain bugs. Because of that, your customer will directly undergo loss. Correct? If it is a like bug is related to payment and all, then it will be a financial loss. But what if it is a ECG machine? ECG machine we all know, right? We have in hospitals and all, which supports like patients and all, correct? Which shows the pulse and all, basically. So what if that is also software, right? Which is showing that analytics, correct? Which is showing that data. That also needs to be tested. If we don't test that kind of machines, basically that will have some sort of defects. What will happen? It will show the wrong data, and basically because of that bug or defect, the company might see a severe human life losses also, correct?
Yes.
So basic idea is that whenever the software is being developed, it is bare minimum to test whether it is actually being developed properly or not, and it is a job of software testers to do it. Secondary, to improvise the quality of the product. For an example, if you are using Instagram and Instagram is having a lot of defect, you try to log in for 2-3 times with the same user ID and password, then only you are able to log in. You try to post something, it is taking a lot of time to get posted. The quality of the post all like used to degrade a lot. So will you use the Instagram, or will you try to find a different platform to use? Basically the second option, right? You'll try to find a different platform. You will not use Instagram. So basic idea is that due to defect, the quality of the software might considered as very low, and as a software tester, you are responsible to catch that defect and improve the quality of the software. Are we guys getting it?
Yes.
Cool. Now the third point, to ensure the software is developed according to customer requirement. When there is a requirement, right, it will be in a document form, right? The requirement will be in the document form. From the customer side, will not sit with the customer and talk about the requirement. It is not happening like that, because customer is a really busy guy. If you're talking about the restaurant, guy will also be busy, but he can extract some time. But there are certain projects like Amazon, Disney Hotstar and all, Google projects and all. Google Health is the project, one of the project I've done. So basic idea is that that time client will not have a lot of that time. Client can't sit with you and tell you what needs to be developed in what way. So client will do what? Client will give you a written requirement. Okay, client will give you a written requirement. And if you're fond of reading books and all, you might have seen this, right? If 3 different people reads a same story, they might understand this particular thing in 3 different ways, correct? Every people has their own understanding on things. When it is written over a paper, they might think in a 3 different ways, 3 different people, right? So everyone might have a different understanding and different point of views on a particular thing which is written, correct? So there might be chances, unwillingly or misunderstandingly, developer has misunderstood a particular requirement. They have developed something else rather than what exactly customer needs. Okay, so as a software tester, or as part of software testing, you have to make sure that whatever the software is being developed, it is exactly aligned with whatever customer wants in the requirement. Got it? And if you have any point of time, if you have any doubts in requirement, you can reach out to your testing lead, you can reach out to the development lead, you can reach out to a person called business analyst. Who is business analyst? Business analyst is the person who goes to the customer and collects the requirement and take it from there to you, basically. So he has the maximum knowledge of the requirement because he has sit with the customer. He has sit with the customer and discuss the requirement deeply. Okay. So you can reach out to that person also at any point of time if you think that requirement is confusing. Okay. Got it? Are we guys clear on this
Yes.
part? Cool. So this is how I want to tell you one more thing. Like those who like just today is the first demo class. Software testing is the easiest way of getting into IT. Some people are good in coding and all. They can go for development. Even though like you have basically less knowledge of programming, you understand the programming, but not in that level that you can become a developer. Like there are certain levels wherein you have to be excellence or proficiency in the programming so that you can get a designation, right? So if you think that I am knowing the programming but not at that level, you can become something called as automation tester. What is an automation tester? We'll try to discuss it in future. And what is another profile we have in testing? That is manual testing. What is manual testing? Exactly this. Manual testing is basically, I can tell you, wait, I have a slide for that. What is the difference between manual testing and automation testing? Yeah. So basically this is manual testing and this is automation testing. What is manual testing? When you get the requirement and you manually you open the software, you only enter the data, you only click and do the actions, and you only verify the result. That is manual testing. For an example, in this particular example, we only enter the user ID, we only enter the password, we only click on the login button, we only verify whether the home page is being displayed or not. It is called manual testing. You only doing the effort in order to test the application. What is automation testing? Automation testing, you will write programs, you will write script, that and then you will basically write script in such a way that script will go and script will enter the user ID, script will enter the password, script will hit the login button, script only will verify whether that home page is being displayed or not. So here all the all the testing is being done by the script, done by the program which you have done, not you. Okay, got the understanding? So this is the basic difference between manual testing and automation testing. Basically, you can go with either of the profile. These both profile are really good. And easiest way to get into IT is to become a manual tester. I'm frankly speaking, there is no other way. You can get a good amount of salary, a respectful designation, and easiest job. Okay, because manual testing is something which we have done since our childhood, right? It is just a testing which we are doing, but only thing is that now we have to understand how to do it on the software and how exactly all the things we need to do uh, as part of the testing. Got it? Are we clear on this?
Yes.
One more point I want to give here: the salaries of automation tester is basically equal to the developers. So if you are thinking in this way, developers profiles, your salary slab is a little bit higher than the testers. So you can go with automation testing. You can give an effort and learn the like small, like little lower level of the programming and go for automation testing, because automation doesn't need a good amount of knowledge of programming. Just basic level knowledge is basically enough. Okay.
What
Clear?
about the future of automation?
Sorry.
What about the future of automation?
Future is like, I have seen people getting more than 20 LPA also in testing, depending upon the experience level, like how many years of experience they do have. So it's not like you are getting lesser than anything. You will get a good amount of salary like over the period of time. Okay. Obviously, in any of the field, you need to upgrade yourself over the period of time in order to survive. So in testing also, there is very vast scope of upgrading yourself. So if you want to enhance, if you want to grow, you have to keep on upgrading yourself. You start with manual testing, you learn API testing, you learn database testing, then you learn ETL testing, then you have a lot more things, right? Accessibility, performance, there's a specialized type of testing. I have seen people doing their whole life accessibility testing and performance testing. What are these? You'll get to know in future, but they have spent their whole life doing this particular type of testing. You can understand the scope of testing. It's not like that key testing will come to an end any day. It's not like that. Okay, because whatever is being developed, that needs to be tested for sure. Okay, are we good, guys? Any other questions regarding the testing, like in this way, career related or opportunity related, that you want to ask?
I just go on to the future scope of automation testing.
Future scope is like bright, I would say. Like people are learning automation very frequently, and nowadays, right, if you see the industry, they want both manual testers and automation testers. They want one person to do both work. Even they do hire you as an automation tester. Initial stage, they will ask you to do manual testing, and then you will do the on the same feature, you will do the automation testing. You will write the script for testing it. So basically, it's recommended. If you can do automation, can become an automation tester, go ahead and become an automation tester. You will get satisfied with the salaries also, right? There's really good amount of money the IT companies are giving in the initial stage also, right? Even though you are a fresher, you'll get a good salary. So that is it. And the scope is like basically till the development is there, testing will be there. So don't worry about it.
What about API?
Sorry,
What about API?
API testing. Your voice is a little low. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, what about API?
So API testing is also there, right? I don't know whether it is covered in your particular module or not, which you have got, but yeah, you can ask Shishu or whoever you have contacted in order to get into VGS, right? He will guide you on that. So API testing, basically, if you want to target the max from now, you can be a full stack tester. You might have heard about full stack developer, but you can be a full stack tester. Full stack tester needs to have a knowledge of manual testing, automation testing. Automation testing is not needed, by the way, but yeah, it's a plus point to have it. So basically, manual testing knowledge you need to have, API testing knowledge you need to have, and database testing you need to have. These three type of testing, if you learn, you can call yourself a full stack tester also. So that is really a good profile to have. Okay.
Database SQL.
Yeah, that needs an SQL knowledge also. Yeah, go ahead. Someone. Yeah.
Sir, actually, I'm 2015 pass out. So, is it possible to get a job from my side?
Yeah, I've seen people getting job who are passed out in 2013 also. So you'll get it. No worries. So yeah, that is possible. Don't worry about it. You have to talk to the BGS consultant for that. What is the roadmap? They'll tell you what you need to do in order to get the job. But yeah, definitely I've seen getting placed people of 13 and 14 also. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Cool.
So, sir,
Yeah.
not at
Sorry. Not. I think your voice is breaking.
sir, non-IT background. Which one
Yeah.
is better, developer or tester?
Look, if you're non-IT background, don't think in that way first of all, right? What do you think IT guy will learn more than you? Is basically some sort of programming, and there is no like start date for it, right? You have to learn this thing in your engineering or in your bachelor of computers application degree. Don't think in that way. The thing they have learned 4 year past, you can learn now. You can give your 1 year, because anyways you know that in college they teach you a lot more thing which is not even useful for you in your practical life, day-to-day life. So don't think in that way first of all. If you are interested, just give it a shot, right? Taste it. I would say taste it. If development is feasible for you, you think that you can do, go ahead with development. If not, you can always become a manual tester or always become an automation tester if you know a bit about programming. Okay, it's the easiest way to do it, as I say, because I used to, like, in my class I used to say that even 10th class students, you take it to us, like, not literally, because the company used to ask the degree and all, but the job is like that, right? The job which we are doing as a software tester is that easy, or is that practical, I would say, to understand. Even the 10th class student can understand what we need to do and what we are doing in day-to-day life as a software tester. So it's not that hard, first of all. Okay, so it's the easiest way to get into it. Give it a shot, taste it, whether it is for you or not, whether it is your cup of tea or not, and then take your decision. Don't think in that way that you are from IT or something like that, you're non-IT or something like that. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
The job opportunity according to development, like compared to development, testing is मतलब उतना अच्छा आता है क्या कैंपस
Look,
या
look,
रिक्वायरमेंट ज्यादा आता
I
है
would say
टेस्ट
that depends upon, obviously, the current state of industry that time. Okay, कि hiring कितनी हो रही है, ये कोई नहीं बोल सकता डेवलपर की जॉब ज्यादा आती है, टेस्टर की जॉब कम आती है। जो बोलते हैं वो लोग सही नहीं होते, आई वुड से। ठीक है, तो इट डिपेंड्स कि प्रोजेक्ट्स अपने यहाँ पर, जहाँ जिस रीजन पे तुम हो, लेट्स से यू आर ट्राइंग टू सर्च जॉब इन बैंगलोर, तो कितने लोगों को उस टाइम पे, कितने प्रोजेक्ट्स आ रहे हैं, कितने लोगों की जरूरत है उस टाइम पे। सो बेसिकली उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि कितनी ओपनिंग्स निकलती है। ठीक है, ऐसा होता है प्रैक्टिकली, अगर तुम देखोगे तो कितने प्रोजेक्ट्स आ रहे हैं उस कंपनी के पास, सो उस कंपनी के पास ऑलरेडी कितने एम्प्लॉय खाली बैठे हैं, उस पे डिपेंड करता है कि कितनी ओपनिंग्स निकलेगी। तो अगर तुम रेशियो देखोगे, ओवरऑल ऑन एन एवरेज बात करोगे, रेशियो देखोगे, तो इट इज लिटिल बिट लेस देन दैट, बट बेसिकली यू विल गेट अ लॉट ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी। देखो, तुम ये मत सोचो कि तुमको 10 इंटरव्यू में बैठना है, तुम ये सोचो कि मेरे को 2 में ही बैठना है, 2 में से 1 में ही लगा लेना है। ठीक है,
ओके थैंक
हाँ,
यू
तो it prepare yourself in that way that you'll just sit in 2 or 3 interviews and you'll get the job. Don't think in that way. That's a very vast talk, right? If there will be hundreds of people sitting in a row with you to get an interview, and they will be that those people will be sitting in the 4, 5, or 8 interviews also. And what I want to say is, don't be with that particular audience. Just try to be with someone who is getting placed within 2, 3. Okay.
Sir, online class is better than offline?
Depends. Look, when I started, no, I don't have that amount of money in my pocket to go and spend a lot of money in Bangalore and get started. But basically, if you think that you are a person who can grasp everything online, go ahead with online classes. It's a lot of time and money saving process. But if you think that I will not get it, it is not my type to get an education via online, go ahead with offline classes. Why I'm telling you that? Because in order to do that, you need to spend some sort of money, but you will save a lot of time, because anyways, whatever you are doing in online, you will not get an output from it, right? Anyways, you need to go offline, or you need to search for something, right, after the whole online
Yes.
class also. So just analyze yourself. Okay,
Yes, sir.
cool. Any other questions, guys? Good to see you guys asking questions, right? Any other questions? No?
What about nowadays requirement is very less.
Sorry?
Or nowadays requirement is very less
Yes.
because I hear the recession is currently going on. So
Correct. Now, like, no one can predict that what will happen, I would say. It's not a world recession kind of thing. Now, this US is going under recession. If you see the Indian economy or something like that, it's not that कि हम लोग मर रहे हैं, हम लोग के पास काम ही नहीं है, right? So it depends कि उस time पे what will be the current state, because there US is not the only place from where project is coming. There's a lot of project coming from Singapore and all. So that depends ki that time what is the strategy of our IT companies to get the projects, because eventually if you see now how you are getting job will directly depend on how India is getting opportunities, how Indian ITs is getting opportunities. It's directly linked to that, I would say, right? Because anyways, if you are getting requirements or getting opportunities, right, that will be from the mediocre company, not IT, Infosys, TCS, and something like that. Most of you will get placed in mediocre companies, middle level companies. So it depends upon them how they are getting their own projects. Correct. So it will not good to say that ki you'll not get job now. It's a recession. Those who say like this, don't listen to them. They might be right. I'm not saying that they are totally wrong or something like that. It depends upon scenario that time. So it's not good to say right now. It's not good to predict right now, I would say. Yeah.
So what are the languages will be taught in testing?
So basically, in order to do the manual testing, I'll be teaching you manual testing, right? No language is needing. No language is needed. I will teach you in English language that is needed for you.
No,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
automation,
Java
manual
and
testing,
all.
Java, and
So
all like that.
yeah, correct. I got your point. That was just a joke. So basically, in order to know the automation testing, the person will be teaching you automation. Will teach you core Java. Only one language is needed in order to do the automation. So we'll cover core Java, I guess, and then you'll be learning Selenium. So Selenium is basically a tool. It's a driver, if I properly say it, right? It's a driver basically which will basically do what, right? Provide an interface between the software and your script. If you see it here, right, in the diagram, this is your software, this is your script. So this is Selenium. Your script will be basically going through this Selenium in order to interact with this. Selenium will help you in having in writing script in such a way that you'll be able to navigate through this particular whole website or application. Okay. So you can call it as a driver rather than a tool. Okay. So basically the automation testing you can divide in two ways. First way is two parts. First part is basically your core Java, and then second part is basically your Selenium. Then when these two are done, basically you'll be ready to do the automation. Got it? But if you talk about me, I'll be responsible for clearing your basic, creating the ground level for you in order to understand what is testing and what are the types we have to do in order to do the testing. Because even though you are getting placed as an automation tester, some point of time you have to do manual testing, and you should know everything about it, because you will be part of a testing team wherein you will see both manual tester and automation testing. Okay, you should know what they are doing.
So those test cases and agile testing, it will be comes under manual testing, right?
Yes, 110%.
So you will be teaching that one, right?
Yes. Agile will understand in a practical way, will understand each and every process, and then you'll have project classes also for manual testing after manual testing. So when you get project classes, you will be doing it live. Whatever we are trying to do, we are trying to understand in the theory classes, right? We'll try to do practicals on that. Test cases are anyways a document. How to develop a test case, that's a skill. We'll try to learn that.
Okay, so will you provide one project to explain the interview?
Yeah. At the end of the manual testing, you'll get a practical project.
No, for example, I'm just join as an automation testing.
For automation testing, that I don't know, because I don't cover automation testing. So you can ask your consultant for that, whether you're getting a
So
project for
for
that or
it,
not.
also for this, for interview experience.
Uh-huh.
For example, just I'm giving an interview. So for interview, I need to explain one project. So
Mhm.
will you provide that project?
So you are talking about in the resume what you need to mention as a
Yeah,
project.
whatever the resume, whatever the project I mean.
I can pass you a dummy. Anyways, if you're covering the project classes, they will explain you 1 or 2 projects of different domain that you can mention, that will help you in the resume in creating the resume also. And if you want a dummy resume from my side, I'll provide you. Don't worry about it. I'll provide you a dummy LinkedIn profile or something like that. You can just see the projects and all from there.
Because mostly they are whatever the project you have worked.
Mostly what I have done, or we used to teach. So mostly it's like one project will be e-commerce domain, and one project will be education domain or healthcare domain. Okay, so these 2 projects will be covered as part of testing, I guess, practical project classes. Any other questions?
Hello,
Yes.
sir. What will be the salary range for manual tester freshers?
Fresher. So manual testing fresher starts somewhere around 3.5, 3.25 to somewhere around 4.5. Basically that's a fresher, for fresher manual testing range, right? Usually you get like that. And if you talk about automation, it starts with 4.5 and go till wherever you can take it. Depends upon the company. I've seen people getting placed 8 lakhs also, 6 lakhs also, as a fresher, as a automation tester. Depends what level of knowledge you have and what is the company is willing to give. Because as a fresher, you can't negotiate. You can't say that I'm getting I have more knowledge, give me 5 lakhs instead of 3 lakhs. So you can't negotiate. As a experience, you can do that, but fresher you can't do that.
As an experience means?
As an experience, basically, wherein you say that I do have a 2-3 years of experience, wherein you show that you have a 2-3 years of experience, something like that. Yeah. So usually that, like, if you switch from one company to another company, no, they'll tell you I'll give you 13 lakh. Usually negotiation happen, right? Likewise, we used to do. I'll tell you one of my colleagues we have created. Like I only teach him manual testing. So he was working for a very less salary slab since 4 years, right? 4 years he is getting like somewhere around 6 lakh package. So we did prepare him for interview and all. We created a set of questions and all, and for him, because we have been in the market, right? We used to see a lot of interviews in day-to-day life. So we created some questionnaires and all, and we prepared him for database and API also. And then we started ask him to start giving interviews. Then he got 2 offer letters. One for is like basically 8 lakhs, another one is 10 lakhs. So when he get selected in one more company, which one is willing to give somewhere around 10.5. So we showed them that we have 2 more offer letters currently in our hand, and we are willing to give somewhere around willing to take somewhere around 13. So he got 13. He got 13 lakhs from that third company itself. So it happens. We can negotiate. So yeah, these numbers are like a little bit ambitious for now for you guys, right? But what I would recommend you guys, right? For an example, if you are not working in IT and you are a fresher or something like that, prioritize that you get a job first. Don't see the numbers. You get a job first. You work for 1 year, learn how exactly industry work, being in that particular chair with everyone. Then try to think of upgrading yourself. Just learn 2-3 more skill, give the interview, and upgrade yourself. That time you can be in the stage wherein you are thinking for a salary, a good amount of salary, right? So that time you have to go for the numbers. But now the prioritized things is basically to get a job in IT, because you are not working now in IT, correct? Cool. So best of luck for you guys. I think we are already on time, but yeah, these are the demo classes. I've been teaching you very basics, and I've been thinking that not everyone will be fond of what is software, how it works, and everything. So initial classes will be a little bit slower. I would say, frankly speaking, that will be a little bit slower to establish the mindset, and then we'll move on to the more technical things, right? So hopefully you are understanding if you already know all these things which I've been teaching. Okay. Because there is a lot of people who's non-IT and doesn't know what exactly things work. So we need to first of all teach them what exactly it is working, how exactly it is working, and then we can move ahead with testing and all. Got it? Yes, know anything, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Cool.
sir.
Cool. So thanks for your patience. We'll wrap it up for today. One announcement is there: Fridays and Sundays we don't have classes. Apart from that, every day we'll have class sharp at 12:30. Okay. Sorry, Friday and Sunday.
Okay.
Saturday we'll have class. Friday and Sunday we'll have off. 2 days we used to have off. Okay. I hope you guys got it, and I'll just drop a message also. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you for the participation.